Tonight's show is brought to you by Ventura Training and Athletics. Restore, train, maintain. Specializing in the restoration of the muscular system to help you move and feel better. Combating TBI, PTSD, and pain through specialized strength training. Again, get your body right, get your mind right, defeat the demons.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Hour, hosted by Nick, Dave, Joe, and Buddy. Today's special guest is Alan Raines, a former infantryman who switched to logistics to sell his bath bombs.
Hey, welcome to episode 26 of the Trash Talk Hour. Shout out to Ventura Training Athletics and Cardinal Financial. Also go check out 10th Mountain Whiskey. Type in that BTT code, get yourself a discount. Our special guest today is Alan, former Army. He's going to talk about holistic healing. And as always, I'm here with Nick, Buddy, and Joe. Over to you, Buddy.
Hey, real quick, my honesty cap this week is on Army medicine and how awesome, especially now with this election going the way that it's gone, and socialized healthcare being a thing that everybody's going to get to be get a little piece of. Let me describe what I did this week. So I'm turning in my retirement packet here in a couple months. So I've decided to go ahead and everything that's broken, everything that's been broken for the last 23 years, go ahead and get it kind of annotated. I don't know if you could tell, but my left shoulder is about 1.5 inches or 2 inches lower than my right shoulder, which I thought was, I don't know, odd. So I went into the to the PA for fifth group, which you would think is a fifth group guy, he'd be good. I told him, I was like, hey man, I need to get I'm not a doctor, but my shoulder is way lower than my other shoulder. Everything doesn't work well. He's like, well, that's just natural. Whatever. Don't worry about it. Sent me to get a scoliosis check and then to physical therapy. I go to physical therapy. Physical therapy looks at it and it goes, no, that's not right. That's real jacked up. Do the scoliosis thing. Turns out my back is like a snake. It has a couple big deviations in it. But I asked this PA, and it goes kind of into our guest for the day. I asked this PA, I was like, hey man, can I get a chiropractic or some kind of muscle activation therapy, something, TRICARE covers it, I know, or chiropractic or something, or a combination of both. And he goes, well, that's not really modern medicine. That's not really what we do. We've got chiropractors and you could check on the muscle activation therapy, but we don't really look at it as modern medicine. And I was like, you mean modern medicine like those opioids that you want to give out like they're candy, those ones? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? My back is not in alignment. I'd like to get it in alignment, and then I'd like to go talk to some muscle activation therapy guys to activate the muscles to keep it.
Oh, Buddy must have got a text message.
Yeah. To keep it in alignment. Good God.
Did somebody swipe right, Buddy? Buddy, did somebody swipe right? Did you get a notification? No? Oh.
No, somebody keeps.
Damn it. Well, hey, so while Buddy's
training in athletics,
anyway, so I tell this dude, I'm like, hey, look, I just want to get my back straight, and then I want to get some muscle activation therapy to keep it straight and strengthen the muscles that have gotten weak because they're compensating for a bad back. That's what I would like to do.
So how long would you say you've been compensating?
I ended up having to make another appointment with another PA in order to get him to do anything that he's supposed to do. And my honesty cap for the day is, if you're trying to get out, if you're trying to get seen by the VA or by a PA or by somebody that is just not giving you not the answer that you want, but the answer that makes sense, go to somebody else. Get another fucking, and what does it hurt to get your back cracked by a chiropractor? Nothing. You know what? It's not going to cause you any. You're not going to be any worse off than you are. What is it any worse to drink some tea that has medicine in it that's going to help you? You're not going to be any worse off. If you're better, that's gravy and awesome. If you're the same, you're in the same fucking spot. And if you're worse, you're not going to be any worse. So why not give it a try? Why not go to somebody that will actually give you a common sense answer to what you want to have happen in your own medical life? You know what I mean? And we do the same thing where we don't go to the doc, we don't go to the PA, we don't get anything annotated, because if I get this stuff annotated, I don't get to go on this deployment. I don't get to go work with my team. I don't get to go, and it's very little of that is about us as like, oh, I'm tough. It's about us not wanting to fail the people that are around us, so we're gonna suck it up. Like this back thing, it goes directly to getting hit by a couple lieutenants in a Ranger truck way back in Iraq and having a couple broken ribs and just cinching up my body armor and keeping it moving because they were both really good lieutenants that I wasn't going to get into trouble for fucking messing around with a vehicle. And I wasn't going to let my squad just fucking go out by themselves while I laid up in my bed, you know. But I'm not an anomaly. I am the normal, everyday 11 Bravo. Like, we do that for years and years and years, and then when it comes time to get our, like, do our shit, get our benefits, you know, I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day, and we were talking about, like, they're like, okay, well, you know, what is your normal? We think normal is waking up every morning and looking at the ceiling and going, all right, we're going to get up. We're going to get out of bed. It's going to hurt a little bit. Like, we're going to need to, let's breathe. All right, here we go. And then having to give ourselves a pep talk. We don't understand that because we've done things that are different our entire lives, that there are other people that haven't done that, that normal is just getting the fuck out of bed and going to do what they got to do. Like, normal is not having pain all fucking day. Like, not being tired all day because your sleep is fucked up from years of what we've done. Yeah, like, normal is not that. Normal is not having issues. And we need to be able to be honest with ourselves and be like, all right, well, like, I got some stuff I got to get checked out, and give ourselves a break and go ahead and get it checked out and find the people that are telling us the answers to the question, not that we want, but that makes sense. That's all I got.
Cheers, buddy. Spot on.
Hey, before we give it over to Joe, hey, buddy, how long would you say you've been compensating?
I got hit by that truck, no bullshit, in the Samara. When you guys were in Samara and we were up in Crit just bullshitting, that's when I got hit by that truck. And it has been.
You mean the bus that takes you to the shopette?
No, it was a one of those little Rangers. You know those Ranger side by sides?
Yeah.
They were driving by while I was PMCS in vehicles and thought that they were just going to kind of slide by me. Definitely nailed me with the pole on the side, threw me about 10 feet, broke a couple ribs, and
yeah, I remember
that was that.
Hey, also, what game are you playing?
Talk to somebody, like, I went and got it looked at, and the guys and the PA that was there was like, hey man, like, you have 2 broken ribs, you're a little bit jacked up. There's nothing.
Here's an ace bandage.
Not even an ace bandage. He was like,
the water,
the only time that I could breathe is when I put my body armor on and I cinched it down.
Yeah.
And then I felt fine.
What game are you playing right now in down where you're visiting?
We're playing bingo.
How do you play bingo? How do you play bingo?
You make a list of random things, and then when you see them, you take a shot. And then my bad. When you see it, you mark it down on your card. When you get 4 of them, you give a shot away. If you get a line, you give 2 shots away. If you call bingo accidentally, you have to take a shot.
Now, are you taking credit for this game, or did somebody else teach it to you?
Halfway.
This is obviously like church bingo where you come from, right, buddy?
Yeah.
It's like at the church.
Kind of, a little
Okay.
bit.
I mean,
And buddy,
later on we're going to go
I mean,
to the BFW. Well, later on we're going to the BFW to play actual bingo, and we're doing it with shooters somewhere keistered in our prison wallet.
shots aren't part of the game. It's just part of what you do while you're playing, right, buddy?
Yeah, that's how you keep yourself focused.
and Buddy,
Touche.
for all the ladies that are watching, for Buddy, is your Tinder profile activated in Florida?
Well, no, not right now. Not right now. No. Simple answer, no.
All right, hey Joe, what do you got, man? How's it going today?
Oh man. Well, it's good to put in a good Saturday's work and come home to watch Michigan shit the bed again. Yeah. But hey, that's nothing new. That's nothing new. But yeah, man, I had an awesome day today. Went out and did the Web Road Flea Market with Kevin Travers and Rex Brown, and definitely had a little more foot traffic in the morning than I did in the afternoon, so I was able to cut it early and come back. But dude, my soapbox is gonna be. I wanted to save this for you guys because it's incredible. I got these banners made. I got 2 of these poster boards back here made, and they're awesome. Okay, well I got this banner made, right? 8 foot by 2 foot. I'm gonna flip the camera around if I can pull this off, and I'm gonna let you guys decipher what it should say, and then I'm gonna let you guys give your thoughts on checking out something that you purchased before you walk out of the store with it rolled up. I'm gonna let you go ahead and have that one. But here, let's flip this bad boy around real quick if I can.
I mean, Joe, we may be able to see it in your sunglasses on the inside, in the inside of your house.
Listen. Shh, quiet, buddy. Are you guys ready for this? Okay, it's backwards, but look at the one word.
Yeah, you fucked it up, dude. I don't think that was.
No, incorrect. No, incorrect, my friend.
I think that was some North Carolina. Did you have Kevin Travers make that sign? Like
the artwork went in to Staples, spelled correctly, and came out like that, and it came to me rolled up like a freaking painting. So I'm like, all right, sweet. How can you screw that up, right? It's a graphic. It just prints off. Well, whoever typed it in at Staples went ahead and played a little word Jenga and flipped it around, and it was beautiful to unroll that fucking thing right there at Web Road Flea Market this morning. Like, so proud of it. Roll it out, and I'm like, what in the blue fuck is that? What? Like, I was stunned. So anyways, the level of stupidity is it hit me with one of those haymakers again that I talked about when the guy had the airborne sticker and said "oorah" to me, where I just was like, duh, like how do you do that? How do you screw that up? The best part is Stop Soldier Suicide's logo is in the bottom left-hand corner spelled correctly, right next to Stop Solider Suicide, because they went ahead.
Solider suicide is a bigger problem, I think. I think if we can
I think Solider suicide is a real problem. It was a problem for me today. It bit me right in the ass. Oh, it was.
Joe, can we talk about the fact that you're inside with sunglasses on? Also, maybe that's why you didn't see it.
Can we talk about the fact that your hillbilly ass wants to wear a tank top until fucking February? I mean,
it's 75 degrees in Florida. But that's what I'm telling you. Not every state is North Carolina. Need them tank tops. We need to get them rolling out.
They're not. Saying. Okay.
Good soapbox. Good soapbox.
Was that it? Was the soapbox is that you got so excited about the sign that you bragged about for a week and then it turned out to suck? Like, it's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the way you want to word it, yeah, that was actually factual.
I mean, that's the way I worded it, Joe. Is that what you're saying?
I just said it's factual.
Okay. Joe, I thought it was great.
That just happened.
Good job.
That
awesome.
just happened.
Well, I mean, that's awesome, Joe. That is some North Carolina shit right there.
It is.
You know,
it is.
First and
freedom, 48th in education.
My significant other complains all the time about North Carolina and how she would never go back there, and that's just another reason why. But anyways, We got Alan.
Well, then
Alan's
you're
been waiting
technically not
patiently.
allowed back.
I know. I'm not allowed anywhere near any schools there either. So we got Alan Rains has been waiting patiently since 12:30 my time. So he's came on for the sound check right away. So the intro song, Alan, I tell every guest that we make fun of you on the intro song, and you don't hear it until afterwards. But he was an infantryman, and you reclassed to supply, and I figured that you did that to set up your future endeavors as a bath bomb seller and a tea seller. So you wanted to get the logistical experience of how to do that. We could use some of that right now, but Alan Rains from Texas and Jack's Mountain Tea, welcome to the Trash Talk Hour, and please tell us about yourself, about your service, and about your business, and let's see what you got.
Cheers, Alan. Thanks for coming on.
No, thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys letting me come on Veteran Trash Talk here. I appreciate it. Basically, the way it started is being a veteran myself, dealing with some of the demons, as you guys like to put it, in the closet, and trying to figure out how to deal with all that stuff that was in the bottom of my rucksack after, many years of pushing forward. Just trying to do the best, that you can for your buddies and everyone out there. And just having to deal with that. My wife actually dipped in some herbalism ideas and some natural plants that people have been using for thousands of years that we just kind of overlooked because of modern medicine. And so started using those things, helped out a bunch of different veterans, helped veterans that were contemplating suicide. Some of my friends went through that whole process of working them, and come to find out that the doctors that they were talking about earlier, they only focus on a certain aspect of what you're complaining about, or that little ailment that you might, bring to them, and not talk about the whole person and what's really bothering them, or as we like to say, the root cause. What's the root cause of everything that's going on? And so that's what we try to offer here at Jack's Mountain, is just that way of coming at you, or coming to you and you coming to us, and just figuring out what the root cause is, and using some herbal medicines. We use oils, we use salves, bath soaks, herbal teas, otherwise known as, tisanes or things like that. But it's basically just to help out other veterans. And then we slowly grew into a larger word of mouth type of business, is what it ended up becoming, is helping out friends, and then started to sell it just so we could, buy some of the product again, so that we could give it back out. And now it's come to this point after about 4 years that we're a brick and mortar. We opened our first shop just north of Austin, Texas.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And now we're just trying to spread that word, to everybody. Myself and my wife, we've not been fans of fitting in boxes, our whole life. And so this is just one thing that we're trying to bring is, people that are looking for something that'll actually help them, or, get through different struggles of life, especially for veterans. Because that's why we started. That's who we are. My wife's currently serving as a chaplain, Army chaplain. So, it's just our lifestyle, and that's who we care about. But that doesn't mean that we're going to keep it to ourselves and not offer it to other people. And so that's what kind of brought this business on.
So a question for you: when you talk about the holistic healing and the stuff that you guys have, whether it's to help knee pain, or maybe some, stress, not being able to sleep, like, what is the most effective thing that you guys have, or maybe one of the most effective things that you have that you've used personally and experienced and said, hey, this stuff works. This is good.
For personal experience, I could jump on that real quick, and that would be tinctures for myself. And tincture is basically a form of taking herbs and you macerate it in, we use a low-grain alcohol, which is vodka basically, and we macerate the—
I like vodka.
Yeah. Okay. And then this will have a little herbal taste to it though. But so basically it's vodka where you macerate the plants in there that are good, in my case, for nerve pain, because I had a jacked up back, many jumps with the 82nd amongst, other airborne units. But just jumping out there and tweaking your back, and kind of like we were talking about a little earlier, is just had some nerves that were distorted and pushed around and in between, different parts of my vertebrae. And so wife found some of these plants. She went to herbal school and learned some of these plants that she could macerate and put into grain alcohol. I just place it underneath my tongue, and it slowly helps to build that nerve back.
So it's like acid.
Maybe the concept as in the way you take it, but not the effect.
That's phenomenal. I got a question. Like, let's say a guy like Buddy walks in your store, right? And he has the body of a carny and, like a somebody who should be like in a fair somewhere, right? And he decided to go be a paratrooper and then an SF guy, and it just didn't work out for him. So he kind of walks around like this, right? And we don't really understand why, right? But so he comes into your store. What do you give him? How do you help him out?
Well, with Buddy, we'd sit down. That's where we prefer to do like a consult. Basically, we sit down with them. We like to talk to them. Like, I mentioned before, we like to focus on the person as a whole, not just what's bothering him. I mentioned earlier, his shoulder, is a little lower than the other. Well, what led up to that? All his years of service. What did he do from beginning to end that got him here? And what is he actually dealing with deep down? But I mean, that's for a consult.
So I'll tell you, Alan, unlike Nick, I've been living under a rock my entire career instead of like going and smoozing with the smadges everywhere. So, that doesn't do well for your back.
But Buddy, nobody's questioning your patriotism or your strength and your courage. I'm just questioning the genetic pool you came from. That it's not as strong as mine.
Really need to have some help. They've got some scabs on them, bro. You know what? No,
I can personally relate with you, Buddy, because I carried, over 100-pound ruck for 18 years. So.
Yeah, well, like I was saying before, in the honesty cap thing, as all these new guys are talking about modern medicine and this, that, and the other. Well, people for thousands of years have been using herbs and teas and poultices and all this other stuff, and with really, really good success. And all of our modern medicine is derived from some type of plant.
That's correct.
It's just not ingested as well as it would be ingested, or it's shot up like oxycodone is just some weird, like, scientifically generated form of morphine that's like 1,000 times stronger, but it's got the addictive qualities that, like, herbs don't have.
Yeah, so you're exactly right. Like, all the medicines that we have are derived from herbs and plants that normally we would have used thousands of years ago. But
so you're like a modern day wizard.
Yeah. Yeah. People, I guess, kind of an inside joke is people used to get burned at the stake for what we do now. So it's just, just understanding the plant and what it offers. And a lot of things have, effect of that. But the traditional medicine you're talking about, or that I guess people were talking to you about, is that they just took the idea of the plant and they've incorporated the scientific, lab to it. And so now they've gotten away from the plant and what it actually offers and just kind of modified it, whatever they need to. But still they're focusing on just the symptom instead of the person, as a whole. And our body has to work together as a whole, kind of like how you're describing your shoulder and your vertebrae being twisted. I mean, that all affects everything in your body, buddy. And so now you got to work on getting all those things aligned just so your shoulder can be straight again or a little higher, at least on that one side where you walk like this.
No, we're pretty sure we narrowed that problem down. We narrowed that problem down to the fact that it was about 6 to 7 generations of interbreeding in Alabama. We're not quite sure if that's true, but it's just, when he gets drunk, he starts to kind of talk about his uncle and dad being the same person. It's kind of weird. But we'll get over that. I know. It's
my dad and my great cousin. So
great cousin. Okay. Sorry, like I said, you get buzzed up and you start saying stuff like that.
You could be your own grandfather.
We still love you, buddy. We still love you.
But hey, Alan, we talk about that on the show multiple times. I don't know if you've watched. I know you've probably watched a few of our episodes, but the whole system complex of taking care of veterans and diets an aspect of it. Medicine's an aspect of it. Physical fitness is an aspect of it. A lot of things, your mental strength and conditioning, all that great stuff. It's never just one thing's going to fix the problem. And that's what we're trying to do here at Veteran Trash Talk is feel like, get big enough to be a one-stop shop for everybody and build enough connections and promote enough people that, they need to know where to go. So where do people go to find your store other than, being in Texas? Do you have a website or anything like that you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I mean, we have a website. It's called jacksmountaintea.com. I'll install one big long word. We have an Instagram, Jack's Mountain Tea. We have a Facebook. We also, for people that are curious about helping veterans that can't really afford all the herbal medicines and stuff like that, we also have a Patreon. If you just go on there and look up Jack's Mountain Tea, we have people that give to us so we can help veterans, maybe some of the homeless veterans like we have here in Texas, bring them in, help them out, just to get them focused because they don't have that, regular income like, some of the Americans are fortunate enough to have.
For sure. For your service, where was your best? Where was your favorite place that you served?
Depends on what you mean by favorite, I guess. But
be very careful now,
so
Alan.
like one of the
Be very
countries.
Careful. You're on the Trash Talk Hour. Be
This
careful.
is a loaded question.
Yeah, it's a loaded question for sure. But I would say as far as the countryside, I would have to say the Balkans area. Spent many years down there tracking the demons that live down there. But I like the countryside, if they just wouldn't throw hand grenades at each other all the time, it'd be great. But it's a beautiful countryside. I loved it out there.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Alan? What do you recommend for, let's just say, arthritis? Because a lot of guys are probably struggling with arthritis. Yeah. What would you recommend? What do you have in your store for arthritis?
So we have some oil blends for arthritis here in our store. And it's basically just an oil that we mix with some of our infused stuff. Relieved is a great one that'll help with the muscles that are around that. That's an oil that we sell. So we have Relieved, which is an oil that, focuses on the muscles. We have one that we call Freedom Reigns. It's to help tone down tinnitus that, some of us have for shooting guns inside rooms, kind of gets loud. And so it just kind of helps tone that down, helps it.
Wow, I would be very impressed if I ever took something that could tone this down, because I've tried a lot of things. I definitely want to get the name of that and give that a try, because mine's 24/7 in my right ear, and I've never had anything that I could slow it down with.
Go on jacksmountain.com.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. It's called Freedom Rings, because the ringing.
Yep.
But
Freedom Rings. That sound of freedom is awesome until about 10 years later, and then it starts to hurt. It starts to piss you off.
Yeah.
Alan, what's your clientele like in regards to people that are still serving? Because maybe a lot of people are getting confused that if they take your products, they're going to come up hot on a drug test or whatever. This is all legal. Well, I guess it's legal everywhere now.
These are all legal herbs.
Correct.
Not places that everything's legal, but these are herbs that are legal in all 50 United States.
Correct. So what would be a thing for, let's say, sleeping issues? Because I know that's a thing that taunts a lot of us. Myself, they gave me sleeping medication that I stopped taking after a couple of weeks because I found out that it was for anxiety and it can cause suicidal tendencies. Just, the VA pumping you full of shit, or the Army pumping you full of shit, Army medical.
Yeah.
What would you suggest for individuals that are going through, nightmares, waking up every other hour? What are some good remedies or
just some right off the bat things that I would recommend trying is, we have some herb mixtures that are like, have lavender skullcap, lemon balm, and they'll have some chamomile, which most people know what chamomile is. And so it's just some blends of different plants and flowers that come together. But we have one that's called Rest, which is kind of gets you to that point. So you can calm down enough if you're having trouble going to sleep. And then we have one called Dream, which kind of keeps you there. But if you're going through like specific types of nightmares and stuff like that, again, something specific, I'd have to offer a consult, because a lot of things that we offer in the store are not to just kind of like cure exactly what you're getting at. It's kind of to aid in some help. And then also after you know, can work through that and get through some of the aids that we have to help you get to a better focusing point. We always love to do the consults with you and actually dig deep, know you as a person, whether you're active, veteran, whatever, know you as a person and just kind of work with you on having a better life.
That's awesome, Alan. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, cheers to that, Alan. That's awesome that you're doing that for veterans, and you know, you found something that you could you know, make a difference and also find a way to make money at it. That's a part of the American dream as well. Pretty good spinoff. We can get back into the conversation in a little bit, but I'll get into the Book of Earl. And I know it was a big hit last time. I know Buddy got introduced to the bell curve, and we're gonna teach it to him again. This time, so I got my whiteboard with me again. Okay, so it's very important. All right, so we can understand the way the media works, the way Facebook works, the way society works now. All right, that gets all the attention. All right, so I'm going to draw the common bell curve again. Okay. Okay, everybody see that? Okay, so this is the left side. It might look to the right on you, but this is the left side. So this we'll call the liberal side. Okay, we'll get political again. All right, and then you got the right wing, right? Conservative. All right, you got these people over here. Now with the election that just happened, all right, it's not over yet, regardless of what anybody tells you. All right, these people over here they're educated. All right, and that's what the hard part is these are the liberal left that are educated. All right, they're screaming that every single vote was legal. They're screaming right now that the election process is perfect. Okay, these are the same people that 4 years ago said Russia got Trump elected.
Nothing collusion.
Right? Okay, these are the same people that don't want the Electoral College. Okay, they might not, but right now, because they're so emotionally over here to the left, that there's no such thing as voter fraud. Okay, born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, birthplace of the Republican Party, birthplace of the American Socialist Party. All right, it's an absolute. The state doesn't know what to call itself. Okay, the city was run by mafia bosses for years. Right? Plenty of rigged elections. There was a state Supreme Court election that actually got swung because they found 5,000 ballots in a guy's trunk. Right, that's a 100% true story. Right, there is fraud. There's always fraud. Okay, now go over here. These people tend not to be educated. All right, the far right. Okay, the neo-Nazis. Right, those guys. They tend to be really fucking stupid, all right? And they just kind of want to go against the system, right? But then you get over here in this area, you start getting some people who can read, okay? But they're not quite in the normal. These are your Facebook warriors, okay? These are the guys like Shaner. All right, I hope Shaner watches. All right, these are those people that they'll watch the
Shaner should be a little bit further. Not like all the way to the right, but
no, because Shaner can read. Okay, so
he can read, but I'll let you keep.
He gets going. Here, he gets here, and he thinks that, you know, he watches the Q, and there's going to be this big overthrow of the establishment.
That the Earth is flat.
All right, now here's the connection. These are the 9/11 truthers. You know, Dave used to be one of those guys. So you go over here, right, and there's a connection. There actually is. Okay? This side thinks the government has the power that they want it to have. All right? That the president is actually that important of a person. Okay? The executive is one branch of a government. Right? He or she, eventually someday, hopefully a she gets in there, but it's not that powerful. Not to us, right? It's extremely powerful to the trade deals and, you know, the foreign policy. The head of state, right? The executive. He has a secretary of state. Okay, like that. He is responsible for representing us. Okay. These people think that they run this country, right? Because it's America. But then all this, they freak the fuck out when they see somebody else but their president get elected. It's like, wait a minute. I thought we ran the country. Who cares who's elected? All right, so then you got these people. All right, these are the average Americans. All right, the ones that are college educated, probably. You know, our literacy rate is the highest in the world. So we have, even when you're dumb in America, you can still read. Just like our fat poor people. All right, you're poor, but you somehow are fucking fat. Like, I don't know how that's possible, but I do know how. But anyways, so you got all these people in here who are like, yeah, there is some voter fraud, but guess what? President Trump is kind of an asshole, right? And maybe he would have won a few more states if he would have shut the fuck up for a year, right? You know, maybe if he just would have been like, I'll be a little nicer. Because believe it or not, a lot of people showed up to vote or turned in their mail-in ballots or whatever because they couldn't stand the fucking guy, right? Like, they literally have no idea how politics works. They have no idea how good we are looking on the foreign policy side of things. They have no idea. They don't care about that. They don't think about that, all right? But they're like, nah, this guy's a jerk, right? And they don't want to vote for him. So they go vote, all right? Now you got these people over here more towards the right side, right, that are like, wait a minute. Trump just broke all records for demographics in voting. Got more of the black vote, more of the woman vote, more of the Hispanic vote, Latino vote, right, in history, ever, okay? So statistically, he shouldn't have lost. Like, there isn't one campaign manager, if you ask him 2 weeks ago, that if Trump gets 14% of the black vote, does he win? Every single campaign manager would tell you yes. Okay? Now, us here in the middle, just like Buddy brought up, Buddy's gone now, but Buddy brought up about the rioters and the looters and the police violence. Why don't we wait to see if those police officers actually committed a crime? Why don't we wait for the justice system to do what it's supposed to do? And then let's make a logical decision, because we've seen the evidence. We know what happened now, right? As opposed to one video that's been edited and shown, and now everybody's breaking windows and shit, right? This election is going to get contested, okay? The smart people know that. They're in here. These people, they think there's going to be some kind of Q civil war, all right? These people, thank God right now, Joe Biden is the winner, because every fucking city would be on fire right now if he wasn't. All right? And that's how dangerous these people are. Okay? Because they're that emotional. These people can become very dangerous. All right? The fortunate thing is this is way bigger than this. The crazy left is much bigger than the crazy right. And that's a fact. Statistical fact. All right. I don't care what your opinion is. This is the statistic area. All right. So before everybody panics and freaks out, let's let the system go. I believe Al Gore contested the election for 32 days. All right. It was 32 days that it was under investigation in the recounts in Florida. Right. How many days are we at now, Dave? 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're nowhere near 32 days yet. But guess what? It's going there. All right. It's going to go that long. Okay. And when the courts say that it was legal and Biden is the president, good for fucking Joe Biden. All right. And good for everybody that voted for him. Who cares? This is the United States of America. If your state is rocking, if your state is awesome, and you actually went out and voted, all right, then keep your state strong, because the president has nothing to fucking do with your state. All right,
Yep.
Nothing at all. All right, the gas prices, they have a little bit to do with it, but you can look up the state taxes on gasoline. Some are very high, some are very low. All right, some get theirs, at a different price. Again, that's too much education for some of you. Anyways, so here's your bell curve again.
Clear yourself on that bell curve. Where you at?
Huh?
Let the viewers know where you're at.
I'm like right here.
Yep.
Okay.
Trash talkers. Everybody that's watching, we're like right there in the middle. Okay.
I'm not necessarily in the middle because I think
that's more for me, right? I'm more in the middle.
I'm fiscally conservative because I like the money that I work for. All right. I'm a little bit more to the right. Okay. If you want to talk full politics, I have some tendencies over here because I'm a realist. Right. So they're going to take my taxes. They're going to take my income. Right. The federal government takes my income taxes. I live in the greatest country in the world in Texas. So they don't take an income tax. But the federal government's going to take my money without me saying it, yes or no, right? I don't get a choice. So why not spend it on something more progressively liberal?
Why not?
I don't know. Why not? I mean, you have it, but fucking spend it, right? Like, I mean, whatever. Don't give it to, a wind and solar company like Solandra. That's, a failing business, that kind of stuff. Either way, again, people just calm down, okay? Calm yourself. We proved here that these people aren't going to destroy the country. They're just wackos. They're Facebook warriors. These motherfuckers over here, though, they'll wreck their whole town. They'll destroy their whole town because they're pissed off, okay? These are dangerous people. These are what are called socialists, all right? Socialists, they follow Saul Alinsky, right? Where the end justifies the means. They don't care if they burn their whole fucking city down to make it the city that they want. There is no happy medium. Let's kind of work to get somewhere. They'll burn that whole shit down. All right? Stay away from them. Now, these guys over here, way right, they're very dangerous too. These are the racists. These are the neo-Nazis. These are the guys that'll like lynch somebody. They are very dangerous too. But they are nowhere near the numbers because these people will shut them down. Right? They will shut them down. These people over here need to shut these fucking idiots down. That's what's called being an American. Right? Like, no, it's okay to think over here. It's okay to think over here. Stop saying we need to come together as a fucking country and all think the same way. All right? Group thinking destroys creativity. Say it all the time. So there you have it for the election talk. It's not over yet. If Joe Biden gets elected, I don't care. Okay?
So be it.
I don't have a job that is affected by the federal government as far as like taxes. I'm a soldier, so I'll probably get some more combat pay when I go back to the line because the establishment loves to start wars in oil countries. So like, I might get some more combat pay before I get out. But like,
because how many wars have we started in the last 4 years? I mean, we're not gonna get too political, but
that's not too political. But yeah, he actually brought troops home, right? Yeah. It has a peace deal brokered in the Middle East. Not a big deal. Nobody's paying attention to that. That is not. For some reason, we're not voting on those issues. We're voting on racial inequality. We're voting on the coronavirus. All right.
Yeah, come on, Nick. That doesn't even move the needle.
Right. I mean, right. That has nothing to do with what the president does. So the best thing is,
how dare we think that's important?
So the president said, like, I want to fire Fauci, right? And the news came right out and said he doesn't have the power to fire Fauci. And they're right. The news is right. He doesn't have the power to fire Fauci. That being said, let's use that logic because that's correct. That being said, he has nothing to do with the actual handling of the coronavirus. That's fucking Fauci, right? That's the CDC. That's who handles it, right? That's them. And then they did 3 models. I just learned this at the Yale, the Southwest, and UTEP, right? They did 3 models for their research of what could happen.
Nick can go on, man. You on one now. Go ahead.
You got me started with this when you started bringing up that's your fault.
Yeah, go ahead. So go ahead.
When you brought up, the 3 models, right, of what could possibly happen with the coronavirus. Now, these models, you can fact check me on this if you want, because I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure it went through October. So from February to October, the CDC did 3 models. All right. Now, this is like these are the things you try to get to as a scientist. You actually try to get to a model, right? And they had 3 of them, just like the military does. Most likely, most dangerous, and what's probably going to happen, right? Or like so, the most dangerous, they said about 4.5 million people would die from February to October. The best case scenario that the CDC came up with was 200,000 deaths by October. All right, so either we give the CDC a pat on the back because that's what happened, right? Or we vote the president out because of something he has no control over. And that's the uneducated people that we unfortunately have to bear the weight on. And that's fine, because in the military, we know that you're only as fast as your slowest guy. Right? You can only go as far as your weakest guy. So sometimes you got to carry his weight, and Joe was one of those guys when he was a Joe. I had to do a lot of push-ups for him, and that was fine, right? I carried all of his mistakes on my back because our retarded platoon sergeant didn't know the difference between him and I, even though I was much taller and good looking. But I had to do a lot of push-ups because Joe was always late, and the platoon sergeant thought I was Joe.
Which platoon sergeant was that?
Fucking Deal.
Garrison Life and I did not get along. Combat Life and I were just fine, but Garrison Life and I, we did a lot of push-ups.
He's absolutely right. And
before I learned Dave's first name, he was smoking me probably a couple of times a week before we even started, because he was my first team leader. And listen, I'm going to go ahead and stay true to myself. I refused to be on time or consistent. So we got overseas, and then,
you were in charge. They were never in charge.
Yeah, that's it.
In the end, though, everybody's problems that they have in life are still their own fault. So who cares who is president? Like trash talkers, if you have serious problems and you're blaming a president for it, no, that's not the case. It's your own fault. That flea market, we talked to a lot of veterans today. And I talked to one that had been through a lot of stuff. I'm not going to go through the whole story and everything else, but
thank God
she had the foresight to say that some of these veterans that claim they need this help need to actually be worthy of this help and be proactive about getting the help, instead of just sitting there and typing how bad the VA sucks. Like, what have you done to move towards progress in that situation? Because I can tell you right now, anything that the VA has done for me that's worked out well, I've had to put my foot forward. They're not going to come beat your door down to fix you. Not going to happen. I don't care how bad the problem is. You have to be proactive about fixing yourself. The help is out there. Be worthy of that help and be proactive about getting it.
100%, Joe. Alan, what are your thoughts on all of this? We kept you kind of quiet. I think we're getting ready to close out, right, Nick?
I was just going to tell Alan to be quiet.
Pretty soon, but before we let Alan talk too much, all right? Yeah, like our main sponsor with Ventura Training and Athletics, that's their main thing too, is they don't want to see you if you're not willing to do the right things for yourself.
Want it.
All the work they do on you will be nothing if you just go back and eating crap and drinking too much and whatever. So, Alan, what do you think about our dumpster fire, as we call it, and the Trash Talk Hour? And again, throw another plug at your store before Dave takes it off.
No, I mean, if you're seeking help, then that's what you'll get. But if you're not seeking it, kind of like what you're saying, if you're not going to go out there and seek any assistance or help, then you're not going to get anything. No one's going to come after you. That's why it's great as veterans, how we have the battle buddy system or whatever they use now, Ranger buddy back in my day, but I don't know what they call it now. But you got people looking out for each other, but not everybody has that. So especially when you get out, it's a little bit different.
Change starts where? It starts within.
Starts within, yeah. Starts within. There's a little thing that I like to reference in the Bible. It says, though I walk through the valley of the shadows of death, I like to think about it as it says, as you walk through the shadows of the valley, but not sit there. So that's just something I like to put out there. Is like you got to walk through it. You can't just sit in it.
Well said.
But come check us out, jacksmountaintea.com. All different ways to contact us. We mail things out. You don't have to be in Texas to get it. And we love to talk with you about consults if you're willing to dig a little deeper than just something on the surface.
Yeah, Dave, before you take it off, Alan, I'll
let Joe have it. Joe can have it tonight. Joe can take us out.
Hey, Alan, I'll put your
Show the new sweaters, Joe. Show the new sweaters.
What's up? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hey, Alan, thanks for coming on, brother. Definitely want to give a shout out to Daniel Gonzalez and these shirts that we just put out. All right, check us out on Shopify. Check us out at Veteran Trash Talk. The Veteran Day Champion sweatshirts, those are up in the stores. put your VTT code in. It's VET22 for your 10% off discount. But come check out the new merchandise we just released, and check out the buttons. We were selling a lot of the flea market today, but all right, fellas, that's all I got. Alan, thanks for coming on. Peace out, Trash Talkers.